There may be more tools today to assist with mental health. In the long past, there were institutions that may have included a lot of experimentation, or individuals who were accepted into their local communities who worked with the challenges faced by those individuals who struggled. It's that last option that's the basis for our story today. Joshua Abraham Norton. He'd been born in the second decade of the 1800s in England, but was raised in South Africa. As an adult, he moved to California. His life had gone from being a farmer's son to a financial success, back to the meagerest of means. It was rags to riches to rags. Now Joshua struggled to manage his series of losses following a bankruptcy in 1857. He would then make a run for Congress, but failed. He even tried his hand as an auctioneer after yet another business failure. Well, then came the summer of 1859, when this man, who had been broken more than once, rose from his personal ashes and assumed a new identity that he would keep for the rest of his life. Joshua purchased space in the San Francisco Chronicle and other papers, in which he declared with a flourish that he would hitherto be known as Norton the First, Emperor of the United States. While this declaration was not widely recognized outside of San Francisco, it did capture the imagination of the people who lived there. Emperor Norton created his own currency, and some businesses accepted it. Today, these Norton dollars, if you can find them, will sell at auction for around $10,000 apiece. He sent official correspondence to international leaders who mostly chose to ignore it. He even suggested to the Queen of England that they marry to strengthen national ties. He was given free ferry rides and was often treated with the deference afforded royalty as he regularly walked among the citizens of San Francisco. If this was a modern-day story, there would likely have been plenty who would have asked for a selfie with this emperor. Local gift shops sold items that bore the likeness of this emperor, and his story was a stuff of local legend. It would even catch the attention of beloved authors who created characters for their stories based on America's emperor. Those who sought to mirror this man in their literature included Mark Twain, Robert Louis Stevenson, and Neil Gaiman, among others. The emperor proclaimed the dissolution of Congress once and demanded the assistance of the army to clear the halls. They ignored him. He had also called for the end of political parties composed of Republicans and Democrats. And, like most orders outside of San Francisco, these too were ignored. In 1866, Emperor Norton I further declared himself protector of Mexico, although it was never clear how he did so. He also kept this title until his death in 1880. The emperor did not have a palace or vast estate. From 1865 on, he lived in a small room on the top floor of the Eureka Lodgings, a three-story rooming house. This was where friends could look in on him from time to time, hear his edicts, and work together to pay his rent and other bills. He most often wore a blue uniform and maintained a regal air. He walked the streets and visited with his subjects. He was quick to attend music events and other public gatherings. During the day in his single-room lodging, he composed edicts that he paid to have posted in the local papers. He demanded respect for San Francisco, and he condemned the common use of Frisco to describe his city. He reprimanded anyone who spoke in conflict about religious thought. Perhaps the most interesting of Emperor Norton's edicts was when he called for construction of a suspension bridge between San Francisco and Oakland and a tunnel to connect the cities. Well, these both exist today in the form of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge and the Trans-Bay Tube. For nearly 100 years, there have been efforts to have the bridge renamed the Emperor Norton Bridge, or at least allow this to become an honored nickname for something he suggested long before it was built. Because this man claimed royalty for more than 20 years, some chose to believe it, thinking it was European aristocracy that he carried and was merely pretending to have little but a blue suit and largely ignored edicts. When Emperor Norton passed away, the truth of his condition became widely known. This man, who seemed benevolent to most, he had tried to stop protest to little effect, possessed less than $10, mostly in change, a gold coin worth about $2, a collection of walking sticks, a battered saber, several hats, a very old French franc, and a handful of fictitious bonds for his empire that he sold to tourists. He also possessed fake telegrams from world leaders. This was the world Joshua created for himself, and while his mind would not allow him to come back from this place where he found himself, there were people who continuously cared for him, and in their own way they allowed some bit of normalcy to a man who had always wanted to play an important role in the world around him. There was no record that this self-proclaimed emperor had a wife or children. In the end, Emperor Norton believed he had made a difference, and perhaps he did. Was that a gift or a delusion? Only you can decide, but for this man, he was allowed to define a purpose for his life, and had the right combination of support to give him a rather compelling backstory.